Hey guys. I know it's been a minute since I've done a sit down and talk type video, but there's something I really need to discuss with you guys. Chuck E. Cheese is closing down more of their locations. And while we are used to Chuck E. Cheese closing locations from time to time, this is a lot more than normal, and half of them are 2.0 locations. But this is probably confusing information to a lot of you, so let me explain some things. So back in late February or early March, it became aware to me that the Chuck E. Cheese in Monroeville, Pennsylvania would be closing down. I wasn't really too shocked by this news because I know Chuck E. Cheese closes locations every once in a while, but this was one of the first 2.0 locations that existed, and it was the first one in Pennsylvania, so kinda interesting. But as March 17th came around, even more bad news came. The Chuck E. Cheese in Arlington, Texas, a very famous location among the community for being the first rocker stage store and one of the first Pizza Time theaters, was closing. While the location had been a 2.0 store for a while now, the stage was still remembered by many, and this store was known for a lot of things such as fan gatherings and much more. People really loved it. But the next day, yet again, we found out about another closure. The next closure would be Fargo, North Dakota, a former Showbiz Pizza Place location, which had gotten 2.0. Although for some reason at Fargo, they kept all of their old artwork during 2.0, which included the third to last Mount Chuckmore piece in existence, only 2 left. And they also had a set of those 1991 character portraits, which are also very close to being extinct at Chuck E. Cheese, so it's kinda sad to see them go. And the really crappy thing about Fargo's closure is that the employees were only told the night before that the store was going to be permanently closing. They weren't given a month, a week, or even just a few days in advance. Literally the night before, the next morning they had to close.
Chuck E. Cheese in Fargo are saying they'll be closed for good, effective immediately. Workers confirm at Valley News Live they were informed by corporate late last night that the Fargo location would be closed today. Those employees tell us they had no warning. They're now out of a job. Viewers also expressing concern. Some had unused gift cards, redeemable points they can't use, scheduled fundraisers or birthday parties they can no longer utilize.
So yeah, I think you guys get the point. Then photos of a now closed Arlington started appearing online, and it honestly looks really sad. Something about abandoned Chuck E. Cheese locations just makes me so sad, like all the joy once had there is gone and just empty. It's kinda depressing. And you guys are not gonna believe what happens next. It's another closure. This time, the closure would be at Bridgewater, New Jersey, the first non-2.0 closure announced. It houses a Studio C Alpha stage, which is pretty famous for a feature it has. Bridgewater has the last remaining interactive console, which if you don't know what that is, it's a feature on the Alpha stages where you can look at cameras, play games, etc. on a console in front of the stage. Most of them have been removed, but Bridgewater is the last one, and as of the time I'm recording this, Bridgewater is not closed. It happens April 7th, so go see this incredible piece of Chuck E. Cheese history while you can. After this, 2 more closures were announced at locations with animatronics, but these ones would take place pretty soon afterwards in late March. First was Joplin, Missouri, which is kind of a sad one because this was one of the last unremodeled 90s Chuck E. Cheese locations, as you can see by the exterior. Not to mention they have a really rare stage type. It's the prototype for the Studio C Kappa, and they have a Avenger era blue screen cover thing next to the stage, which, like I said, it covered the blue screen when they removed it. They actually had the last one, so these unfortunately no longer exist. I think they're pretty cool pieces of artwork. Along with Joplin, the Sioux Falls, South Dakota location was also announced to be closing. This location housed a 32 movement Studio C Beta and seemed like a pretty decent store, so it's sad to see it go. Soon, pictures of Joplin's sign being taken down and later abandoned were seen online. Chuck E. Cheese fans were shocked at these 6 closures. Chuck E. Cheese hadn't closed this many locations at once since the pandemic in 2020. It was rumored that 50 locations would be closing, but this was quickly debunked. Only 10 would actually be closing. But this left fans wondering, what other locations would close? Well, we actually just found out 2 more. First is Davenport, Iowa, which is just a 2.0 location, but it used to house a 3-stage before. Next is Hagerstown, Maryland, or Hagerstown. I've heard both used. I'm not really sure which one's the right one, but whatever. This location houses the Studio C Kappa Beta Mix. Apparently Sioux Falls has already closed, but Hagerstown is not going to close until April, so probably sometime April, early April. I think this closure wave is shocking because half of the locations closing are 2.0 remodeled locations, so it seems like it was kind of a waste of money to remodel them in the first place, but hey, I'm not the big corporation here. It's really just CEC closing down locations that are underperforming or have lease and rent issues. I'm hoping no more closures are announced because let's just be honest, losing your job sucks. It sucks having to go find another job after losing your first one, and I feel for all these cast members at the locations that are closing. Not to mention now North Dakota and South Dakota are without a Chuck E. Cheese. But yeah guys, that's all the updates I have for now. Let me know in the comments how you feel about these closures, or any possible other locations that could be closing. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.